This is your crypto news for today. So last month we saw all-time high. This month we are under 100K. In just 1 month, Bitcoin has crashed substantially, and it's leaving a lot of people very confused. What is going on? Why is Bitcoin and the crypto market crashing? Well, let's jump into it in this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow me on X as well if you're watching over there. So we're going to talk a little bit about what could potentially be going on with Bitcoin. Let's take a look. Taking a look at the Bitcoin chart right now, we can see we had several tries here to kind of breach, back into that 120K area. We successfully, obviously, smacked that about 105 or 125K, and significantly dropped since. We had that massive sell-off in October, and Bitcoin has yet to recover from this. It's just looming overhead, and we just can't seem to get that bump back up there. So, obviously Bitcoin dropping down into the 99K range just recently, back up just a little bit slightly above 100K right now. But, we're waiting to see if bulls are going to be defending this zone or not. So what is going on right now? Well, let's take a look. So sellers right now are capitulating. This is what we see when we see a massive sell-off. People dumping their bags, and then sitting on the sidelines, waiting till they see, either they're out of the market or they're waiting for a potential bottom, right? Sellers are capitulating with spot and ETFs as well. Outflows are increasing on those. Some traders are pinpointing between 88K. I've heard this number multiple times, as well as 95K range as a potential bottom. I'm thinking the low 90s, somewhere in the middle, is could be a potential point where that we may hit. Obviously, if we drop down and stay below 100K, we're most likely going to low 90s, in my opinion, just in my opinion. But that is just obviously none of this is financial advice, and a lot of this is guessing, right? We can take a look at what happened previously, what happened historically, and try to figure out where the price is headed. And really, it all comes down to sentiment, market sentiment, how people are feeling. Are people going to defend this 100K mark? It really all depends on, realistically, who has liquidity left and what they want to do, right? So the selling has intensified. Analysts across the space are a bit confused. They're scratching their heads about the exact reasons of what is happening, why we're dropping so low, because we're seeing adoption so prominent lately, and it's really confusing to some traders. Why are we seeing such liquidations in the market? There is a lot of people out there right now that are trading futures, and they're getting into margin trading, and they're leveraged so heavily that they just keep getting wrecked, and that could be a part of it. That is definitely something that we consider, because we always look at, we can't really move up sometimes if there's too much leveraged longs, right? They almost have to get liquidated before we move, and that's just a fact when it comes into trading. So there's obviously current selling and a consensus that Bitcoin price could slip lower, in the 95K range, or potentially even lower. One trader thinks that it could be a trap. Suggested the bottom could be approaching 100K, proves not to be a trap. Liquidation heat map from High Block shows leveraged long positions at 100K are at risk, followed by relatively thin liquidity until about 88K. So that's why they're thinking that could be the potential bottom for Bitcoin around that 88K. But it depends. Like I said, if people step up and they start defending some of those zones, we could see a potential push. But until that happens, obviously, we're probably going to go lower. Trader Scott Melker posted a cryptic tweet noting Bitcoin's definitively lost the weekly 50 moving average as support 4 times in history. And he noted that every time the Bitcoin price lost this moving average, the price went on to test the 200 MA. So that's something that we're obviously looking at as well. Price is currently $700 above the 50 MA. The 200 MA is sitting around 55 and rising. Oh, another prevailing theory is institutional level entities saw their portfolios crippled after that October 10th crypto market sell-off that we had last month. We know what happened there with, in regards to China tariffs and the whole Trump situation. It literally spooked the market, caused a massive sell-off. That was probably the most intense thing that I've personally experienced in crypto. I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting there dumbfounded. Um, I was actually doing some trading on Blowfin at that point in time. I was on the app myself. setting up a couple of trades, and I just saw everything just nuke. And I didn't know what the heck to do, right? I was just sitting there, I'm like, oh, I was just scrambling, trying to figure out what the hell was going on. And I'm sure I wasn't alone, right? That was a very, very prominent time, you know, in my trading career, because it's like I don't know what to reference this to. Like I've never seen things drop that fast. But obviously, we've yet to go overcome that. We've yet to really pick things back up. So we're really kind of in a limbo point right now. And so some are suggesting that the people that were affected by this, mostly big entities and institutions, these crippled funds could be the source of Tuesday's overwhelming selling across Bitcoin markets. So that is a potential, that is something that people are throwing around out there. And we also have, okay, October 11th, this is the day after the October 10th liquidation. Donald Trump threatened tariffs on Chinese goods, and the crash led to the $20 billion wipeout, with over 1.6 million traders being liquidated. But cryptos have struggled since that liquidation event, like we mentioned, without really seeing any sort of a rebound. And the recent Federal Reserve rate decision came in, in what we were expecting. It came in favor of what we were expecting, the 25 basis point cut. And most analysts were expecting this to happen. I mean, I believe it was like a 98% chance on Polymarket that that was what was the Fed was going to do. And then the bank hinted that it may not cut interest rates in December. Analysts were expecting potentially another cut in September, or sorry, in December. So it's common for Bitcoin and other altcoins to drop when the Fed sounds hawkish, which is why we listen to the FOMC interest rate decision press conference, right? We listen to Jerome Powell to try and figure out, how he feels about the overall market and how things kind of look to him, because that really that really plays into account, how he's going to feel down the road. And if he's feeling hawkish and he doesn't think that things are going well, then that's obviously a negative, and it's going to negatively impact the market. Now we're taking a look at this, the Cabosi letter. They said Bitcoin officially has entered a bear market territory, now down 20% since its record high on October 6th. It's so crazy how we go to all-time high to uh, crash 20%, bear market territory within, 3 to 4 weeks. It's unfathomable. We're living in the most exciting market in history. That is absolutely true. I mean, take a look at this, guys. This is crazy. October 6th. We were up to 120, almost 126K. It did cross above 126 for the first time in history, and then bam, we're down. And actually, we are even lower than that now. We are in the 90. No, we're still at 100. We're at 100.1K. So, it's really, really crazy time right now for traders, because really technical analysis is not really proving to be the most effective method of trading at this point in time. It's almost like we're in a narrative driven environment right now. And, it can get really confusing. And, guys, if you're confused, I just want you guys to know that you are not alone, because there's a lot of people out here that are having a really hard time. But one thing I am, sticking with is my trading indicator. And I'm not saying this to try to entice you guys into buying it. You're free to go check it out if you want. cfalgo.com. My coupon code's intro10, and that gives you a significant savings off the cost of the indicator. It also comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So hear me out. I mean, look at this. I mean, it proves itself, right? I mean, it showed, boom, okay, the bottom's falling. It's showing you like where the market is basically, it takes into consideration volume and price and technical indicators. It's not just one thing, right? It's a number of different things merged together into one indicator. So it's not like you're betting on just, RSI trading or, Bollinger Bands or anything like that. It's a number of things combined together. And this thing, it works, right? And it also gives me that peace of mind with my notifications as well, right? I get a ton of notifications from this thing when the market is moving, and I need to take notice. It's saying, hey, now might be the right time to buy, now might be the right time to sell, or now might be the right time to open up a short, which brings me to this point as well. You can make money when the market goes down. You don't have to just, bet on spot, price going up, etc. You can also say, hey, you know what? I think the market's going to go down. I might open up a short. And I'm not saying use a ton of leverage. You can use, very, very, very low leverage, or even just, one exit or whatever. You don't have to go crazy into these high leverage markets, but it's definitely profitable to short the market as well. And sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes there's ways to make money other than when the market's going up. And I've been very thankful for my indicator because it's been helping me do that as well. I find shorting the market is really hard to do because obviously, as in my long term outlook, I want the market to succeed. I don't want it to go down. But in times like this, when it does happen, you know, take advantage of what we can and what we can make, how we can make money at the time, right? So that's what I got for you guys in this video. I just wanted to give you a quick update what is going on in the whole crypto space today. It's very confusing, I know, but obviously crypto crypto has a very short memory, and this is just going to be a blip in the whole entire system just down the road. I truly do believe that. I think crypto is going to do some very fantastic things. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.